podcast. Today we're at 1, ahead of the curve, solving quadratic inequalities. The teacher works 1 and 4 and the student works 2 and 3. Remember, I can determine solutions of each quadratic equation with Desmos. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to go to Desmos. We're going to graph the left side, which is x squared minus 100 and y equals negative 64. I'll zoom out, scroll down, zoom out, scroll down, and then there we go. So our solutions are x equals negative 6 and x equals 6. Okay, let's take a look at number 4. So I want to come back to Desmos, x out here, go back to the home screen, and we're going to graph x squared plus 4x minus 3 and y equals 5. Alright, so let's round to one decimal place, so that would be x equals negative 5.5 and x equals 1.5. Alright, go ahead and finish up 4 and then complete 2 and 3 on your own. Let's take a look at the next page. Getting started, it has its ups and downs. The teacher works 1A and 1B, and the student works 1C and 1D. A firework is shot up into the air with an initial velocity of 500 feet per second from 5 feet off the ground. The graph of the function that represents the situation is shown, which we know is y equals, using this equation, it's y equals negative 16 t squared plus v naught is the 500 t plus the h naught, initial height, is the 5. Okay. 1. I can use the graph to approximate when the firework will be at each given height off the ground. Now, the 0 feet, 1,000 feet, that's the y value. Okay. So we're going to use x instead of t, so let me x out of this. We're going to graph y equals negative 16 x squared plus 500 x plus 5. Now we're going to zoom out, zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. Okay, we see our graph. Now we notice we're going from 0 to 50. Let's adjust that. So we're going from the x-axis from 0 to 50. Okay, and then we can scroll up and it looks like we're going to 4,000. So let's readjust the window from 0 to 50 and then from 0 to 400 for the y. So x-axis 0 to 50. And then the y looks like it kind of already adjusted, so we're good there. Alright, so now to find out 0 seconds, we're going to graph y equals 0. So that's at negative 0.1, which is close enough to 0, and 31.26, let's round to 31.3. So it's at 0 feet at 0 seconds and 31.3 seconds. Okay, let's take a look at B. So when it's at 1,000 feet, I'm going to change y equals 0 to y equals 1,000, and let's round to one decimal place, so 2.1 and 29.1. So it's at 1,000 feet at 2.1 seconds and 29.1 seconds. All right, you can work C and D on your own. All right, the student works 3A, 3B, and 3C. All right, let's take a look at the next page. Activity 1.1, solving quadratic inequalities. Just like with the other inequalities you have studied, the solution to a quadratic inequality is a set of values that satisfy the inequality. Worked example, let's determine the solution of the quadratic inequality, x squared minus 4x plus 3 less than 0, with Desmos. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph that in Desmos. I'm going to go to the home screen, x out of that, and we're going to graph x squared minus 4x plus 3 less than 0. Okay, so we have a dashed line at 1 and 3. So we have a dashed line here and here. Now, dashed line means open circle. So we have an open circle at 1 and 3. And our shading's between. So we shade between. Okay. All right, so the symbol E is read as an element of, is in, or belongs to. So the notation is X is an element of 1 and 3. Or we can write it as the same meaning as 1 is less than X, which is less than 3. All right, let's take a look at the next page. All right, mark this page out. Go ahead and mark this page out. All right, activity 1.2, modeling quadratic inequalities. The teacher works 1, 2, 3A, and 3B. A water balloon is launched from a machine upward from a height of 10 feet with an initial velocity of 46 feet per second. 1. I can identify the variables and write a quadratic function to represent this situation. Let t represent the time in seconds and let h represent the height of the balloon in feet t seconds after it is thrown. The quadratic function that represents this situation is h of t equals negative 16t squared plus 46t plus 10. 2. I can use technology to sketch the graph of the function. So let's do that. So it's going to go to Desmos, x out of there, and we're going to graph. We have to use x instead of t, so h of x equals negative 16x squared plus 46x plus 10. Alright, so we need a few points, and we also need to adjust our window. Now, our window is from 0 to 5, 0 to 50. So let's adjust our window. So 0 to 5 and 0 to 50. Now we can zoom out just a hair. So this is a good point, 0, 10. We can probably approximate that one, and 3, 0. So let's go ahead and graph 0, 10. So we want to use these points. So 0, 10. Let's round that to 1.4. 43.1 and 3.1 comma 0. Okay. Now we're gonna have to approximate these points, but that's fine. 1.4 is between here and here, so that's 43 somewhere about right here. Sometimes you have to approximate points, and then 3.10 is just slightly after 3. Okay. Okay. Now, draw a horizontal line on the graph to represent when the balloon is 30 feet off the ground. So, okay. Circle the portion of the graph that represents when the balloon is above 30 feet. So it's this section right here. Okay. Write and solve an inequality to determine when the balloon is above 30 feet. Use the graph to explain your solution. So to write and solve the inequality, we're going to go back to Desmos, and let's go ahead and graph y equals 30, and we're going to get those exact points. So let's round to 1 decimal place. So
interruption, a quick reminder, seniors, if you apply for off-campus lunch privileges, you will be notified this week and receive a special off-campus lunch pass. The first day you may leave campus will be Monday, October 7th. The campus will remain closed to all students until that date. Thank you.
All right, apologize for the interruption. Let's continue. So then we're saying t is an element of 0.5 to 2.3, or you can write it as 0.5 less than t less than 2.3. All right, go ahead and finish that page up. Let's take a look at the next page. All right, go ahead and mark out this page. Go ahead and mark out this page. All right, the teacher works 2A, 2B, and 2E, and the student works 2C, 2D, and 2F. All right, go ahead and mark out question number 1. All right, I can solve each inequality. Okay, so let's go ahead and do 2A. Now, instead of y, we have to substitute that to x. So we're going to x out of here, here, go to the home screen. So then we have 2x squared plus 2x minus 12 greater than 0. All right, so our answer would be from negative infinity to negative 3, or from 2 to infinity. All right, go ahead and write down A. And then let's take a look at B. All right, we're going to graph that in Desmos. So we have x squared plus 6x less than or equal to 0. And so then we would say that bracket negative 6 to 0. Okay, and then let's take a look at C. So again, you have to use x instead of b, so that's 4x squared plus 14x plus 16 less than 10. Okay. Now, quick note. Solid line, we use brackets. Dashed line, we use parentheses. All right, go ahead and finish it up. Let's take a look at the next page. The student works 1A, 1B, and 2A. All right, go and start working on your assignment and have a wonderful Wildcat day.